with our host, Julie Riga. Julie, how are you? And it's time to talk marketing. And I'm going to shut up now because I'll talk too much.
Yeah, let's
Julie.
let's we're gonna lower the volume on your
Yeah.
microphone tonight, Neil. But so
Oh,
happy to
like
be
like it
here.
like a debate. Oh gosh.
Yes, yes, like the debate. So tonight we're gonna have a lot of fun. We have Manny Rivera. He's a chief marketing officer and MarTech expert with a track record in leading teams to maximize the impact of platforms like Salesforce and AI technologies. His focus is on driving innovation and aligning marketing strategies for growth. And Manny right now is helping organizations achieve transformative results in their marketing efforts. Welcome, Manny, to the Stay on Course podcast.
Well, thank you. And good afternoon or good evening, depending where you are.
Good afternoon, good morning, maybe.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Yes, because we're live streaming this as we remember the days of Clubhouse. But go ahead, Julie.
Exactly. Manny, before we get started, I ask all of my guests, what is your favorite food?
Oh, it's definitely steak.
Oh,
Steak, a good steak and baked potatoes. And I probably make the worst steak on the planet, but I have committed to myself this year to learn how to grill a good steak, and I'm getting better at it.
All right.
all right. That's right. Is there like a favorite restaurant you go to for that?
I like to try different restaurants as I travel around the country. I'm a big barbecue fan, so I will go
Oh,
to different barbecue houses. And it could be in Austin, it could be in Nashville and Atlanta. I just the whole different culinary expertise around barbecuing is what I look for when I travel.
that's it. That's awesome. All right. So we're getting into ingredients for success tonight for marketing strategies. And where do you want to start tonight, Manny?
I would say that the way I kind of explain where one starts in marketing and be a great marketer is not about I have a great idea. It's about where I would start would be data, because marketers really live and die on the sort of information. And what they're really good at is putting that data and insights and trends together. That is the creative aspect of what marketing can do. They see something, some people don't use that, but they see information in front of them and they realize, oh, here's a trend. Or like myself, who's more in the traditional sense, where I will immerse myself in a lot of data, a lot of research, and then I will map connectivities of those data points to make some kind of story or some kind of opportunity that you can market against. So that's why I would say data is probably where I would start.
Oh, wow. Okay. And Julie, if you want to jump into data first.
It's all
No.
you, Neil. It's all you.
So here's the thing. Data can be in so many different aspects, but ultimately when somebody says, I'm getting no sales,
Right.
first you got to look at your website traffic. Then you got to look at your social media followers and engagement. Then you got to look at specifically your outreach, what types of marketing you're doing. Once you start to gather data through running ads and you find something that works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep going and keep driving that trend. And people have to be patient when it comes to marketing, that it doesn't happen overnight. It is a process. You constantly have to tweak and change things once you look at who you're specifically targeting for and what you're doing and trends and different opportunities. But when you find something that works, you got to ride it. Ride it as hard as you can till there's no more.
Yeah.
That's very well said. I mean, it's you mentioned the channels of execution, but the insights and the byproduct of those channels is really going to drive that marketer to the next step. I don't know what happens tomorrow. I guess that's basically where I live, and it's like, but I do need to take day by day, minute by minute, and that will inform me what it's going to look like and decisions you make for the next move.
Right. And then think about social media, how reels are now, again, shorts now are going to be 3 minutes long. That changes the game for people that are creating content. Now they can get shorts on YouTube 3 minutes on. Now TikTok, when they started doing photos, you constantly have to educate yourself in marketing because it changes every day. And when you talk about SEO and you talk about Google, and that changes every day. So really the process, if you want to be a marketer, is you constantly have to study trends, hire the right people, bring the right people on board, and really be able to identify when things are going to shift. And that's just a portion of it. And data is so important.
Absolutely. Awesome. What is the next ingredient?
Well, this is where a lot of challenges are being, people are, let me rephrase that. People are being challenged today with now that we have data, we had traditional ways of getting it, secondary, primary data. But the thing is technology. Technology is the next thing. And the way I use technology and the way I explain it is that you need to aggregate all that information, because now data is just global. It's everywhere. Now you can consume information from all different sources. In the past, you would only buy information from one location, or you would create your own information and then you make some kind of assumption from there. Now I can scrape the whole entire planet if you wanted to and ingest that. So technology is really key. AI is taking this to the next level, because now I don't have to have a specialist in analytics. If I know how to use technology, I can point the AI or the technology platforms to start making those trends and start bringing the data together at a much quicker pace and in real time, and sometimes.
Yep. Give you an example of that is if you're looking at specific keywords you want to utilize in the social media post. If you want to look at it running Amazon ads, you can come up with the right keywords. You can come up with the right product listing, all these different things where you would have to hire a specialist to do it that would be charging X amount of dollars an hour that put so many years into this industry. Now AI does it for you.
It's crazy. I just think it's amazing how we have everything at our fingertips.
Yeah, but the problem is people still are only utilizing 10% of it, except the best.
I guess so. Well, I mean, just for my own personal business right now, AI is like setting me way apart from what I would have been like a year ago.
And
The
speed.
version of myself.
I look at its speed. That's
Yeah,
the
it is.
biggest thing AI has decreased, is it decreased our time of work.
You can ingest more. You can read more. You can take more information at a quicker pace, which helps inform you to get better results.
Yeah.
And I think that's what technology at our forefront, and how it's really shifting the marketer, which leads me to my third point,
Well, yes.
which is the people. It's the skill sets are really have changed. You have what I've seen right now, and this is most of the challenges that I work with, because I work with a lot of CMOs, helping them, because I grew up with them as a traditionalist marketer who has now embraced for 15 years technology, and a lot of people haven't. And so the challenge is that you have marketing skills that are not able to take advantage of all this amounts of data. They know data, they know how to put things together, but they don't have the means to put it together and use these platforms and technology so that they can take them to the next level. And then you have the flip side. Technology is getting better for a user standpoint, but does kind of require someone with a technical background or comfort in order to bridge that gap. So I see in the next, for the next 10 years, we have this gap. It's almost like watching my mother use her iPhone. She won't be able to use it beyond a phone, or maybe getting emails or sending a text.
True.
God bless her. She's there, but the thing can do a lot more. And that's the same thing, how the analogy I use with people in marketing is technology is outpacing our CMOs and our organizations, that they can't keep up with the skill sets needed in order to deploy and to incorporate the processes needed in order to take advantage of these things. So the new generation is learning how to do the marketing principles, which are still the most important foundational things to guide you, but then they're just not ready for technology. And today's senior leaders who are making the decisions are in the days of, they know they need technology, but they just don't know how to deploy it or how to staff up for it.
Yeah. And it's really, it just shows that the new skills needed today are not the skills we had before. And it's this ability to be a critical thinker and an ability to put stories together with data and be almost the facilitator of information. And that's what people are hiring you for, is to really facilitate all of these data sources in a comprehensive way so that you can feed them the information they need to bridge the gap and hopefully teach them how to be doing it.
And you're right. And I think the challenge is that most senior leaders know what they need to do. They know that this exists. They know what Nirvana looks like. They know what the end state needs to be there. But the biggest gap is, where do I start? Where do I go? Because I can't call on my direct report to do this, because there is the problem. The problem is that direct report doesn't have that experience or that skill set to bring you over. So you got this massive gap.
No,
And
I think it also goes back to our education system, Manny.
Yeah.
The problem is in the education system, they've not taught kids to think out of the box. They're not teaching them in college all the way of really going to higher order thinking skills. And I'm dealing with it with my team. Why did I say I want to change my model? Because ultimately I have to babysit them and give them the real simplest part. You have AI. Why do you need me? Okay, think out of the freaking box. They don't.
They
And
don't really need you anymore, Neil.
Because I can't deal with it. So at my point is, well, I'll do it myself. I'll get a higher paid deal, and I'll do less stuff. And that's we learn because of AI, we can do that now. But the problem is, if you have something as simple as, oh, I can't write the copy. Hello, you have AI. It's very simple to prompt the AI engineer. But guess what? There's not lots of people who are AI engineers and the people skills. So the development, if a company does not have an AI expert training the entire team on AI, they're going to fall apart compared to their competitors. Whoever is really understanding AI and really embracing it are going to be successful. The ones that are not going to be out of jobs.
Well, Neil, you agree with a great point, because just on Monday I had this conversation. I got a call that someone was asking. It's like, hey, I have AI. We deployed AI, and I'm like, what kind of AI did you deploy? Because there's all different types of models.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just not working. We just don't know it's just not giving us the answer, or it's not working what we want it to do. Just in generality, to protect the innocent here. And basically, it's like, well, what did you train it on, and what did you box it in? And like, box it in. It's like, yeah, basically you need to write your large language model, but you can actually make it sound like a 15-year-old. You can make it sound like a 15-year-old from California. You can make it think like someone who's from a different country. But you need to tell the parameters of your AI so that it knows how to think and how to react and how to behave. And that was the missing ingredient, saying that, oh, wow, we sound too theoretical. We sound too high level. It's like, well, you can tone it down to a grade level of reading and writing.
You could tweak every prompt to the way you want to make it.
And it was like you basically creating a persona of what your AI should be, like a human being.
Right. And that's why experts like Manny are out there in marketing to help these CMOs through these things. And again, being a CMO, I've been there, done it with, and it's not a fun thing, because really they're not able to really direct the sales team, because the sales is what drives a business. And if you do great marketing, but the sales aren't happening, and it's not the marketer's fault, it's the sales team's fault. And that is something that people, wouldn't you agree, Manny?
It's really tough. I think there's a big misconception, because the title of Chief Marketing Officer is across the board, and we're not all the same. And I wrote an article on this, and it's out there. But there's really 4 types of marketers, the way I've kind of did some analysis on this, or CMOs, and they're very different. And you're not going to use someone who is a communication CMO to say, hey, we're going to have you drive online performance. Well, that's not their core skill set. Yes, they understand SEO and SEM, but that's not their core. And so I think a lot of the challenges is that you see with these CMOs are trying to do it all. Right. And by doing it all, is like they're not really good at everything. And I think on the flip side of it is that, going back to Neil, your first statement, it's not all it's cut out to be, because the higher up you go, the greater the sunburn, and it's a lot of people skills, and it's a lot of maneuvering, because you do less marketing and you do more dealing with the culture and the organization and just trying to stay afloat. That's a lot of the work, but you have to speak the marketing lingo.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to go find the right people in the right places, and all these vendors that are out there. It's challenging because everything changes and you don't know what that vendor is really telling you or not. All right, Julie.
All right. Well, yeah. Manny, this has been wonderful. Tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now and where our audience can find out more about you.
Well, I do have a presence on LinkedIn. I do a lot of publications there, so they can come find me there. And they can very easy search. I think just the other day someone said Google Manny Rivera marketing, and I seem to come up on the first page. So I guess I'm doing something right in the SEO world. So what I'm currently working on now is really helping these organizations transition, like we've been talking about, from their traditional ways of doing marketing and really helping them move to tomorrow. And what I'm finding out is, and what their clients are finding out is mainly around the struggle between people, process. It's not just technology, because they have technology, but they just don't know how best to take full advantage of it. And they're paying a lot of money and they're not taking full advantage of that, nor do they have the right skill set. So that seems to be the latest trend. And that's what I'm working on now with
All right.
several organizations.
I think that's huge and that's totally needed. Well, best place is LinkedIn, Manny. We appreciate it. And thanks again, Julie. And that was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show.